Welcome everyone. This is going to be a continuation of the lap guide series that I used to do, but this is going to be for the 2026 Formula One car at Barcelona. I have been looking at everybody's times and driving techniques and stuff, and I've noticed this car is a bit of a struggle even for myself. So I just wanted to see if I could kind of help you guys learn and kind of develop certain techniques to drive this car correctly. You'll kind of see in these few laps that I did. I'll show you guys my best lap, but I'll kind of go to a couple of laps where I make mistakes too. But it's really easy to just overdrive in general and just usually like put too much steering input in for the most part from what I've been seeing. So yeah, let's get started. Just kind of go from here. So heading on to the main straight. I usually keep it in 7th all the way down the straight. Here I'll usually brake like right after the 100 board. Yeah, so like literally right after the 100 board I'll brake. Yeah, already building brake pressure here on the left. With this car, you kind of have to, I mean, with Formula cars in general that are really, really quick, they have a lot of downforce when you're going really, really quick. And the most efficient and quickest way to get around the track trail braking is to maximize the brake pressure you can give it while you have that speed and downforce sucking you to the ground. So as you can see, let's do some slow-mo. I'll back it up a little bit. That's maybe too slow. So coming up to the corner here, the braking zone, I build up to about 100% or close to it, and I, carry it for a little bit. In slow-mo, it seems like a long time, but it's probably not. Do full speed. But you want to get there, maintain a little bit, and as soon as you start putting in steering input, you want to get away from it. See, the minute I start even thinking about turning this wheel, I drop from about 70-80% brake down to, 40%, 30%. And before I'm at the middle of the corner, I'm already basically off the brake, starting my maintenance throttle to kind of balance the car out. Start building from there. I don't touch 100. Still don't touch 100. And then when the car straightens out, I touch 100. Just because these cars do make a lot of power and they have less downforce than the previous generation cars, so kind of have to be a bit more flowing through these sections. 100%. So same thing. Get close to about 100%, about 80-90%, maintain that. The minute I add steering angle, I start dropping a little bit on my brake pressure. Start adding just a hair more of steering angle, I'm down to, 20-30% brake pressure. And I didn't really add any more steering angle because the car's already starting to rotate a little bit. It's like right on that edge. Before I'm at the middle, I'm already trying to keep my momentum and kind of stabilize the car with a little bit of throttle. Then I get to my max steering, right about there, with some throttle, about 30%. And now I'm starting to get out of the corner, but I don't really hit full throttle until I know for a fact that I'm pointed in the right way and I'm opening my steering up. So you can see I kind of broke a little too hard, I think, going into here. Maybe a little late as well. Oh, fast forward by accident. And the car kind of over-rotated on me on the brakes here. This is probably one of the trickiest corners, I think, on the track for everybody to get, but you basically have to get most of your braking done and set the car's speed before the initial rotation point. So let's watch it. Yeah. So I almost even lost it there, but so you get the bulk of your braking done. You get off of it pretty quick, and you want to basically not have too much weight on the nose of the car going through here, because if you do, it just wants to keep rotating. So what I like to do is I like to set my speed a bit earlier than normal, and I'll start my maintenance throttle early along with getting close to my max steering angle. That's about my max. I'm maintaining about the same amount of throttle just to keep the car as stable as possible. And then I start building from there as I open my steering up. I mean, even then I almost almost lost the rear. Caught it. This right-hander here, you want to bleed a bit of throttle off to give yourself a little more front grip. Yep, so a good amount of throttle, about half. And you don't want to steer too much because it's really easy to understeer. So you want to kind of start steering at a, slow, smooth, but quick steering. This corner is probably one of the most tricky as well, but I touch 100% for like a split second, immediately start dropping off. I think on this one I brake at the 100. Yeah, so right when I'm next to the 100 I brake. You want to be really easy with your steering until you're completely off your brake is when you want to get to your max steering angle. See, max steering angle, a little bit of throttle. Can get a bit of rotation there. This one's also tricky. Going into here, you want to really, really minimize steering angle and just trail brake very, very light. Like that. Slowly add your steering angle. These two corners are full throttle. Oh, actually, the previous second to last corner was full throttle. This one is actually not full throttle. I think I bleed. Yep. Bleed down to less than half throttle. Be patient. Just gives you a little more front end grip. Cool, and then I'll show you guys the lap again, but without any talking, so you guys can kind of reference certain points on it. Alrighty, and then let's go to some points I think where I made a mistake. Let's see. I know I made a mistake this lap. Because the last lap was a 24. So let's see. think it was in this corner I spun. Yeah, it was that corner. All right, so yeah, so I think what happened was I think I broke a smidge too late. Was trying to make up for it, and going into the corner, I kind of had a little too much speed. Was trying to slow it down a little too much, and sure enough, I left it a little too late. Rear end started coming around. I tried to save it, but it was just too late, I think, at that point. So yeah, you really don't want to push your braking markers per se. I mean, it's just the car is super unforgiving when you do that. I know with like the previous gen F1 cars with all the downforce and extra grip, like you could trail brake all the way into a corner, pretty heavily compared to these. But on these, you really don't want to miss your marker. And another tip too is try and like really learn how to build pressure, brake pressure quicker. Because I know on like GT cars and some of the other cars, you tend to build brake pressure initially a little slower because there's just more weight and more inertia. Um, but with these Formula cars, with how light they are and how much grip and downforce they have, you want to build that pressure all the way up to 90, and from there you can kind of like experiment and see like, okay, how long can I hold this forward until I lock up, right? And at a certain point, you'll start to lock up. It's like, okay, I locked up at this point. This is where I need to start bleeding off, the brakes and stuff like that. So just try different things, but for the most part, really minimize your steering angle, get your braking done early, and just practice, flowing a little more, carrying more momentum, and also, rolling on the throttle a little slower and not to full throttle, uh, too fast until the car's pointed in the right direction. So I hope this lap guide kind of helps out a little bit. If you guys have any questions, feel free to message me on Discord or email me. And yeah, see you guys out on track.